Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be on my favorite drugstore brushes. I mainly wanted to do this video for a beginner, but some of us maybe just want to save some money or just in general are interested in knowing what brushes are good from the drugstore. These are my favorite, so I just wanted to share them with you. Also, I wanted to do this because a beginner, personally I'm speaking for myself, when I first started using makeup, I used to think if I didn't spend a lot of money on my makeup brushes, my makeup application was not going to be as flawless, and that is not true. As long as the brush is a good one, your makeup application is going to look just as flawless if you spend $50 on a brush or $10. Now, another thing is that a lot of these brushes, even though they are for a specific purpose, that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to use them for that. I am one that don't do that most of the times. Like, if it works for me for something else, I'm going to use it for that. So yeah, I might have bought it for a specific purpose, but then trying it didn't work out for me, so I end up using this brush for something else. Some of these brushes come in a set, but I'm not going to mention them as a set. I'm just going to mention the makeup brush. If they do come in a set, I'm going to post a picture somewhere around here, also the prices of the brush. I'm going to start with the face and then I'll finish with the eyes. For my powder brush, I like this one right here by Real Techniques. This is their powder brush. I love how soft it is and definitely how it applies the powder on my face. All I do is tap on the powder, get rid of the excess, and then just buff the powder all over my face. This one is $10 if I'm not mistaken. The first time I purchased this one, it was at Ulta online, but you could get this one at Walgreens and also at Walmart. Next is this one by Real Techniques. Also, this one is called the Multi-Task Brush. Now, I use this one for different purposes. I actually apply my powder also with this one. I bronze with this one. I apply my blush with this one. People say that you could actually apply your foundation with this. For myself, I can't say that because I've never used it for foundation. So for powder, yes. For bronzer, yes. And to apply blush, definitely a really good one, nice and soft. Another one by Real Techniques that I like for multi-purposes is this one. This is their blush brush, but if you see a lot of my videos, I do use it a lot for two things, which is bronzing and actually applying my powder also. But I personally like this one to do my bronzing. The tip of this brush, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'll give you guys a close-up, is a little tapered, so it's just perfect to do some bronzing. It's also really good to put on your powder, so that is what I use it for. So I don't use this anymore. I used to use it for a blush, and maybe if I don't find a certain brush for my blush, I will use this one. But I personally like this one to bronze my face. In my opinion, these two right here, it's not that they're not good, they are, but if I knew what I know now, I would just buy this one. I bronze with this one. You can apply the blush and you can also apply powder, is really good. So even though these two are great, but I do the same thing with this one. So if you want to just save some money, you could just buy this one alone, and I think is $10. But if you're looking for just something specific, powder brush, multitask brush, and blush brush. Did I say that right? For foundation, I do love the Real Techniques sponge. I really like my Beauty Blender. I honestly don't think that anything could beat the Beauty Blender, guys. I'm sorry, it's just the Beauty Blender is great, but it is $20. So if you want to save some money, definitely the Real Techniques is second best, because I've tried a couple of them and I think that this one is perfect. I like the fact that I wish that the Beauty Blender was like this, but I really like the fact that it has a flat side and then it has just a pointy side, which this one is best to blend the foundation, and then this one is better for getting in the corners when you're going to blend your concealer. It's also really good if you want to bake this flat area. This sponge is just great. It runs from $5 to $6, depends where you get it, But I really like the fact that they also cost $9.99 at Walmart. You get 2 of them. So if you think about it, for $10 you get 2 of these. For a beauty blender you have to spend $20. And they work just as great. It's by e.l.f. This one, I don't know on the top of my head the name. I know it's $6 and I got it at CVS, but it applies the foundation so nicely to the skin. It's unbelievable. It feels so nice and soft. I definitely recommend this. You guys have seen me in my beginners, I think, is how to apply foundation and concealer. I use this brush, even though in that video I think I said it was $3 the brush, but it's actually $6. I made a mistake. I love this one. To contour, I like this one by Real Techniques. It's their contour brush. It does a great job at that. I also heard that it's good to blend your concealer. I've never tried it for that, but I have set the powder under my eyes for my concealer, and it does do a great job for that. But a good contour brush from the drugstore, the Real Techniques contour brush is my favorite. Cream, contour, blush, or highlighter, this one right here is your best friend. It's by e.l.f. It's called the Small Stippling Brush. It's only $3. It blends like a dream. I love to blend any cream products with this one right here. It does such an awesome job. I actually have the Real Techniques one, and I prefer this one right here. I know I have another high-end one, and I still prefer this one. It just blends everything seamlessly. For setting your concealer, this one by e.l.f. is a really good one. It's called the Small Taper Brush, and it just gets right in there. It's really nice and soft, and I really like to set my under eye area with this brush. Also, another good one is this one by Real Techniques. It's called the Setting Brush. I really like the fact that it's a little bit tapered, so it just gets right there in the corner to set my concealer. It's really good for that. Some people do use it to highlight. I personally don't like that, but what I also like it for is to clean out my contour, because it's so tapered. It's really easy to just go like that and just clean out that area. It's a really good brush. For blush, I like angle brushes. I just feel like my blush goes on more nicely when I use an angle brush. This one is by Target. It comes in a set. I know the set is about $11. I think it's $10.99. The Full Face Complexion, I think it's called. But I would try to leave every link down below, so just check the description box. But I know it's $11.99 and it's by Target. It feels so soft, you guys. It picks up the product really good, and to apply it on your face, it blends everything really nice. So I do use this one to add my blush. Like I said, it does come in a set. Is $11.99. You get 4 brushes. From that set is the NYX brush. This one, I use it to highlight. They say it's a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter brush. I don't know that because I don't own the Anastasia one, but I know that this one works great to highlight. It's really nice and soft. The way it picks up the highlighter and applies it to your face, it's just, it does such a great job. This one comes also in the set with this one. I just think for $11 to get 2 brushes is actually a pretty good deal, since some brushes do cost $10 alone. It does come with 2 other brushes, but I really don't use those, so that's why I'm not mentioning them. And those are my face brushes. Now moving on to the eyes. One that has become my recent favorite is this one. Is the blending brush. It just feels so nice and soft on the eyes. Some of these brushes, blending brushes, could be a little harsh, so when I apply, even though I apply it gently, it still feels rough. This one doesn't. So I love the way it feels on my eyes. It's nice and small enough for my eyes since I have hooded eyes. It just blends the shadow all over my crease really nice, and I like this one. I don't know, I think it's $1 or $2, but no more than that. The next one is another blending brush. I got this one at the beauty supply store where I used to live. It was right up the block, but I know a lot of beauty supply stores around the Bronx have this brand, and it's Nika K New York, I think that's how you say it. But this is the NB007 blending eyeshadow brush, and I like it because it's just small enough for my hooded eyes. It applies the shadow really nice on my crease, so that's why I picked this one up, and I just wanted to try it to see if it was good, and it was. I like it. So hopefully if you do go to your local beauty supply store and they do sell this brand, double check. They do have other brushes, but I only end up buying 2 that day, which I am going to show you the other one later on. For shadow brushes by Real Techniques, this one is the Dome Shadow Brush, and this one is the shading brush. I like the way it picks up the shadow and applies everything all over my lid. And this one, I do use it on my lid here and there. I have different ways of using this one. I do use it for my lower lash line to buff that area. I do use it for the inner corners of my eyes to highlight, and sometimes, depending on what type of eye look, I do use it for my lid. Because it's so small and so precise, it just gets right there on my eyelid without interrupting any other shadow on my lid. Since I have hooded eyes, it's just so small and precise, so I like it for that. This one is the Base Shadow Brush. I have to say it's my favorite one. I like the way it's angled. When you apply the shadow, it also hits your crease area, so it blends it out at the same time. The way it picks up shimmer shadows, you know how sometimes you have to pick up a shadow with your finger so it could look more pigmented on your eyelid? This one right here does that for you. It's like using your finger. It's unbelievable. It's such a good brush. This one is a flat shader brush by Wet n Wild. I like to use this one for my loose pigments. So for example, for something like this that is loose, I like the way it picks it up and just applies it all over my lid. This is what I use for a loose pigment. This one, I also like it to apply the shadow all over my lid. It's by e.l.f. and it's called the Professional Eyeshadow Brush. It was $1 when I got it, but I think it's $2 now. I really like the fact that it does pick up the product also really nice and applies it all over my lid. As an angle brush, I really like this one. I use it to highlight my brow bone. I love it for that because it's just very small and precise for my brow bone. Since I have hooded eyes, the way my shadow goes right here in the crease, sometimes it goes all the way up here. So when I highlight, I want something small enough just to highlight the brow bone, but not to bring it all the way down to right here towards my crease where the shadow is. And this one does that. I like to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. If you see my tutorials, you guys always see that I do highlight that area. I personally like it. And this brush right here by e.l.f., the Professional Eye Crease Brush, that looks like a small pencil brush, is what I usually use. It's so good for that area. I've used it for my lower lash line. I personally don't like it. It doesn't feel as nice and soft, so I don't like it for that area, but I do like it to highlight. For the crease, I have used it here and there. If I really want that crease to be intense, all I do is get a little bit of eyeshadow and press it on my crease gently, and then I go in with a blending brush just to blend everything out. And last is a lip brush that I use for my lips, but it says for concealer. I have no idea why they're saying that this is a concealer brush. I don't know, maybe for, you know, blemishes, that would be perfect because it's small enough, but I don't use it for that. I use it for my lips. Some of these liquid lipsticks could be a little difficult to apply, so I use it mainly for that, and it works great. Alright you guys, so those are my favorite drugstore brushes. I hope you all enjoy. Let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite so I could go and check them out. I hope this video was helpful to some of you on your future purchases. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye. Oh, it's gonna be a long night. If you follow me on Snapchat, you know why I did that. You know. A pencil brush. Whatever. Lip brush. Lip brush! Fuck, 1, 2, 3. Today's video is going to be my favorite drugstore brushes from the drugstore. What was I gonna say? Check your beauty supply store for... Booty supply store? Did I just say that? Without being what? Little bit of shadow on my lower lip. Why am I whispering? This is of the brush. just because on the top. No. What is the name of this one? Last is a brush pencil. Brush pencil? What the fuck is a brush pencil? I need a drink.